Vanakkam, I'm Bhaskar Krishnamurthy. I'm basically a Gandhian, or I'm trying to be a Gandhian rather. And whatever I say here in this video is absolutely the voice of a Gandhian, nothing else. Okay, I'm not a rebel. Okay, it is really a voice of a Gandhian. Okay, my question is this: are we going to make drinking a fundamental right? This is my question. Okay, this is not directed against anyone. This is more of more of anguish, right? And we had two developments. It was reported yesterday. One is that the government wanted all the private companies to pay their employees or their workers the full pay. Okay. But someone went against it, and now the news has come that government cannot resort to any coercive action. Coercive action. So this is what said. So the private enterprises have the right to cut the pay. Okay. Now this is news. And second one is, of course, in Tamil Nadu, the Tamil Nadu government wanted to open TASMAC outlets, and then there was certain hindrance, and then it was removed. Now there is no hindrance. Now this can be open. Now I think it is very successfully functioning from this morning. Okay. Here again we have a question: whether drinking is a fundamental right. Okay, and let us see these two things. And we always go by the Constitution of India, right? This is our holy book. Okay, we go by this, and there is a chapter we know very well, chapter no part 4, where it is all about the no directive principles of state policy. And of course, nothing said in this part is enforceable in any court of law. So it does not mean that actually it has got no relevance at all. Absolutely, it has its own sanctity because it is a part of the Constitution itself. So part 4, directive principles of state policy, we know very well that it starts from Article 36 and goes up to 51. Of course, there is Article 51A. It is all about fundamental duties. Everybody has almost forgotten that. Okay, let us leave it. Directive principles of state policy, it starts from Article 36. Now we are going to see only 3 or 4 articles which are very important. Article 39. It says certain principles of policy to be followed by the state. Here the state means the government. The government has to follow certain principles. Okay, and it says the state shall in particular direct its policy towards securing something. Okay, it says the citizens, men and women equally, have the right to an adequate means to livelihood. Article 39A. The citizens, men and women equally, have the right to an adequate means to livelihood, and the government shall try to secure this. This is what it says. Okay. Now the government says the employer has to pay the pay, has to pay the salary to his workers. So this is number one. And number two, this is not the end of it. This is not the end of it. There is Article 43. Article 43, it says living wage, etc. for workers. It says the state shall endeavor to secure a living wage, okay, to all workers. The government, the state shall endeavor to secure to all workers a living wage, a decent standard of life. See, this is the duty of the government. It should ensure that a minimum wage is given, and there is a minimum standard of living assured to the government, to the people of India. But it is not there. It is not there now. It has been negated actually. When the government asked the private entrepreneurs to give full pay to his workers, somebody has gone somewhere else and then it is done. Now it is said that no, the government cannot resort to coercive action. If anything the government is doing according to the directive principles of state policy, now it has come to be called a coercive action. Okay, we'll stop with that. Now we'll go to the next point about prohibition, about drinking. Okay, it is in Article 47. Article 47 of Indian Constitution. It says the state, the duty of the state to raise the level of nutrition, standard of living, and to improve public health and all. Then it says the state shall endeavor to bring about prohibition of the consumption of intoxicating drinks and of drugs. Okay. So it says the state shall endeavor to bring about prohibition of intoxicating drinks. This should be the duty of the state. Okay, and though it is in direct principles, though it is not enforceable in any court of law, it has its own sanctity because it is very much a part of the Constitution of India. Right? When that very with the basic tenets of the Constitution are there, right? There are certain basic tenets. We cannot go away with it. Okay, now it is being done away with. Now it is said no. It can be said there that it is said there in directive principles that the state shall endeavor for the prohibition of intoxicated drinks and all, but we don't mind. It is not there. We are not going to. So now we have a question. The directive principle says every citizen has a right to certain level of livelihood, but it is not a part of fundamental rights. It is in directive principles. We have forgotten it. Now, in the same directive principles, the Constitution says the state shall endeavor to bring about prohibition of intoxicating drinks. And see, the most important thing is this. This is in Article 47, right? Prohibition of intoxicating drinks. It comes right after Article 46. It's most important. Article 46 is about promotion of educational and economic interests of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other weaker sections. Article 46. It talks about promotion of education, economic interests of SC, scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and weaker sections. And the final sentence says, the government shall protect them from social injustice and all forms of exploitation. The state shall protect them from all forms of exploitation. I tell you, my friends, exploitation does not end with stoppage of giving wages. It's something more. Okay, so providing giving liquor to them is again the ugliest form of exploitation. So it's also there. Okay, it's all left to the highest body.